Please help me welcome our third and final contestant, Alice Daniel, with her speech titled, Matchmaking for Mountain Men. Matchmaking for Mountain Men, Alice Daniel.
Does anyone in the room here ski? Or maybe snowboard? Well, I snowboard, and I am very much looking forward to this season. It's about 91 days away, if anyone's counting. If you've skied before, you may have heard the word snow bunny. If you haven't and you're not sure what this term means, well, it refers to the beautiful women that you find frequenting the après-ski scene of the most expensive resorts in the world. You can find these women in their expensive parkas and spandex ski pants, sipping on appletinis and hot toddies at the Vales and the Aspens of the world. But that's not where the term originally came from. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, in 1915, my great-grandfather, who was merely a boy of 13 at the time, ran away from his home in Massachusetts to the great American West. He had heard that this was a place where a boy like himself could find his fortune, fishing the fresh waters, hunting the high country, and sliding down the slopes of the first ski area in the U.S., Howelson Hill Ski Area. So it was there at Howelson Hill that he spent the next 10 years living and working. But eventually, as young men do, he started to want a family and a wife. And unfortunately, he found there just weren't that many eligible bachelorettes in the high country of Colorado at the time. So he turned to his buddy Bill for advice. Bill was a ski bum. He said, Bill, what should I do? And Bill told him something that my great-grandfather almost couldn't believe. I mean, who could? Bill told him about the snow bunny. And what Bill told him about the snow bunny was that young, lonely men of the mountains, if they found this snow bunny on the snowiest night of the year was the only time it would appear to them, they would find happiness. Now, Bill didn't know how this happened or what happened after the snow bunny appeared to these men, but he knew that all the men in the past who had gone searching for the snow bunny were now happily married men. So, one cold January night, my great-grandfather found himself on the edge of the frozen lake where the snow bunny was said to appear, with the snow coming down around him, waiting to see this snow bunny. He waited, waited while the snow piled up into 30-foot drifts around him. And finally, just after midnight, he saw this bright flash of light across the lake. So strapping on his snowshoes, he started running across the lake to follow the snow bunny. It seemed to move at an astonishing speed. He could barely keep up. He went faster and faster and faster. He didn't want to lose sight of the snow bunny, his chance at happiness. Just as he thought the snow bunny was going to outpace him, something strange happened. The snow stopped. Everything was perfectly still. The moon danced across the snow. He looked up to look around and found himself on the top of a mountain, hundreds of miles away from where they had been a mere 10 minutes before. This mountain was so tall that it tickled the bellies of the clouds that they stood under before it swooped down through the avalanche trenches into the valleys below. And in front of him, there was no snow bunny. There was just a beautiful woman in a white, fur-trimmed coat, reaching out to take his hand. Now, I know you might think this is too fantastic to be true, but I'm standing here in front of you, living proof of that night. And so, if you ever find yourself in the mountains on a snowy lake, on a frozen lake with the snow coming down around you, look around. If you're single, you might just be lucky enough to spot a real snow bunny for yourself. Thank you.